lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Racers Elite Truck Series regular season finale has come to Eldora Speedway. There are 15 drivers vying for 12 spots. Kyle Hess locked in last week. Who will be the ones to end up making the playoffs and who are going to be the ones sitting home wondering what could have been? 3 drivers are currently in win-and-in situations. Everyone else is looking to point their way in. And we've got even more headlines that we're going to serve up here to you tonight. From high above Eldora Speedway in the Tony Trapazzo Memorial Broadcast Booth, this is Sim Racing Media. I am Shane Lake, here to bring you all the action alongside Jordan Brockell. And Jordan, we're dirt track racing for a regular season finale, my friend. It's about to get good.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm looking forward to this. As you know, it's one of the few races that I'm back for. Still trying to move things around, get things set up, but nothing better than a good old dirt race, especially at a wonderful track of Eldora, where we see these trucks actually race in the in IRL. So we get to see some real racing from real trucks, and I mean, it should be fun. And then you add in the aspect of where this is going to be some people's last shots here. It's going to be interesting to see who pushes the envelope, and it's going to be hard for some of these guys who are not too familiar with dirt racing to begin with. So it's going to be fun one to watch.
Yeah, track conditions are going to be slick, to say the least. 67 degrees outside. 90-degree humidity, partly cloudy, which means there's going to be a good amount of grip early on, but that top lane is liable to get shaved off. A little bit of a wind, but I don't see that being too big of a problem, as right now in the background you see Brandon Honeycutt scraping the fence up with the right rear. I don't see that being a big problem here. But again, I have a very distinct feeling, because I was talking to a couple of the drivers pre-show, that top groove is going to get shaved before this race is over, which means who is going to be able to hug the bottom quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see just how quickly some of these guys can flip over to being, understanding of dirt racing if you're not one of those guys that doesn't have a lot of experience here. And usually the top lane is a big one. And, it's one of those you got to kind of learn as you go. And it changes so much with dirt racing. It's not like asphalt where it grips up, it slicks off. So you kind of have to play around and ever so slightly move your lineup, or learn to kind of maybe drive a little straighter through that slick more slick areas. But we're gonna go ahead and go over this grid real quick here. So we see Matt Schlosser going to grab the pole here by just 3/10,000ths of a second.
Yeah, that right
Or 3,000
there
or
is
7,000ths of a second. My apologies, I cannot read. So Matt Schlosser, Rob Yost Jr. gonna be on row one. Alan Bergen, I messed with him pre-race, and he certainly threw it back in my face here, and put on a good pole lap. I'm trying to get the voice chat fixed a little bit here.
Yeah, Alan channeled his inner Scott Bloomquist. If you take a look at the truck later, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, because he's running a lot of Bloomer sponsors on that truck here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's still a big loss here in the community of dirt. And certainly, I mean, we just saw that man not too long ago go to a point where he won a race on three wheels. And I mean, it's one thing to get beat uh, with all four wheels on the ground, but to be beaten while that dude is losing a wheel, that's certainly a kick in the gut, and makes you have to figure it out on your own rather quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Broken left front tire and somehow still managed to pull one off. That was just evil. I remember that race, so
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely wondered. That's a highlight reel to watch if I ever saw one.
So I mean, if Allen gets that wheel damage thing, I mean, you know what he mean. You know what he's got to do. He's got to be able to pull off a win while on three wheels. So we shall see. We're gonna go ahead and go through the rest of this grid here as they start to do their formation lap. Got
Yeah,
Alan
Dennis
Bergen and
Kane.
Dennis Kane sitting on row 2, Curtis Ecker, Andrew Teft, row 3, Blair Holloman, Sean Dunaway, row 4, Rowan Lloyd and Justin Branham are going to be row number 5, with our own Matt Metler and Brandon Honeycutt going to be in row number 6.
Yeah, Metler actually showing up for a dirt race. The last row, the last couple of rows here that we're looking at, you have Alex Teft and Nathan Strauss, again, guys that need to have a good points run a little bit deeper in the field, so they're going to need a little bit of help. Troy Thomas, Kyle Hess, Truth Hoke, Chantel Pottle, Philip Archibald, and Kirby Wainscott filling the field out here tonight. And I believe we're getting ready for the trucks to come down. There's only one thing left to do, and that's strap it down. The dirt's about to get flung. We are green from Eldora.
Yeah, and you see right there already for Yost, at least, that middle line working out a lot better. Doesn't have to really kind of shed any speed, pulls through pretty straight. I say that as he then throws it slideways through that corner, kind of sliding over the nose of Schlosser there for a moment.
Yeah, and the big thing is, another thing I was talking with these drivers about is there could be a fuel mileage concern with the way some of these guys are driving, because I was hearing through the grapevine that if you're on the chip a lot, you're only going to have about 105 laps of fuel. Oh, Dennis Kane, and this is going to stack the field up.
Oh, Hess. Oh, my goodness. I mean, we have a junkyard here.
It's a parking lot.
I mean, some of them, mean, I guess you could see some of this here in the in a daily old parking lot. A bunch of wrecked cars around. Some ones that didn't necessarily grab any kind of damage there. We're gonna go ahead and scroll on back, take a peek here.
Yeah, looks like Dennis just got it a little bit high up in the rubbered up stuff, came down, smacked Allen, and then, well, there goes everybody into the whole wad of them.
Yes, certainly. Just nowhere to go, especially at a place like this. When someone slides through like that.
No, because the thing about it is, it's not like you've got the grip on the brakes when you're on pavement. You're just sliding the thing on dirt. So you almost have to point and hope when it comes down to avoiding crashes here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, your brakes are. It's like slamming your brakes going 50 mile an hour on a sheet of glass. So I mean, once that happens, you're kind of along for the ride. We'll take a peek here from a little different point of view. You just
Yeah,
see
Brandon
as he
Honeycutt
comes
up
through there,
there.
just everybody just kind of checking up. You see Alex Teff get slowed up, and then the three machine of Troy Thomas come in, grabs the 56 there. So everybody trying to find a way to slow up there, but it's not. It's a lot easier said than done, especially again, you know, and brakes don't necessarily work here. So
No, they really don't. But the thing about it is, neither does aerodynamics because you're going to see a lot of these trucks with the right sides basically knocked off. So it's not going to matter much. It's just going to matter enough.
yeah, and I mean, honestly, looking at the double zero of Alan Bergen right now, doesn't seem to be too beat up. Seems to be pretty well off as we are back under green. Rob Yost gets a big jump though, and you see we're gonna see that a lot where he kind of gasses it up and then turns hard left to kind of cut the corner a bit. It's not where we go to like a normal asphalt. You kind of get started in your drift out of the corner to make the run down the front stretch, get as much power down as possible. And I mean, Yost is right there, just off of the slick stuff to the outside. It looks like we have second caution. Looks like Brandon Honeycutt. No, wrong one there. Take a peek here. It looks like Dennis Kane again, actually. No, I don't know why
He
it's.
was sitting on pit road. I don't know why it would register what he did unless he just bailed it off into the off pit road and just completely. Well, let's take a look.
Yeah, I mean, I
I think
wonder if it just.
iRacing.
I think iRacing, yeah, he just came out to try to get going, and I guess it just picked him up the wrong way. It's just Troy Thomas just crashed. I wonder if maybe he slowed up just enough. Excuse me, I'm still fighting a little bit of a cold here, so you might hear a little bit of cough. I'm going to try to make sure I get myself muted. But yeah, it's registering Troy Thomas's crash there too as well, and I mean he's straight as an arrow right there. So iRacing
I,
a little bit buggy here with the speeds of some of these guys. So
I think they got David Hoots in the booth again, screwing things up.
playing a little bit of messing with the buttons. I feel like that's something
Yeah,
I feel like if I was an official for a day, I feel like that's something that would happen to me. I lean over and just kind of put my hands down on the desk or like something just to like stretch or relax or something, and then clip the button to throw the caution. And everybody's like, what's going on out there?" I'd just be like, debris, turn two."
yeah. Then you've got everybody and their brother harping like it was the 2015 Pepsi 400 down to Daytona all over again. NASCAR, you can't throw the caution and then take it back.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, hey, I'll just be like, it's debris, and then I'll just tell some dude to run down there and throw a can out there just so I can cover myself up.
Beer can came from the cheap seats. That's what we call.
Yeah, like Denny Hamlin, that guy that threw the water bottle at Denny Hamlin. Yeah, I saw a water bottle as Rob Yost gets back under green here, fires off like a cannon or out of a cannon again.
Yeah, he's definitely getting that restart hit perfectly. You got to wonder how many of these guys are actually starting in second gear compared to possibly starting in like third gear.
Yeah,
because
just before I get the tower back up, we're under caution once again. Lap 13 here. Take a peek back here, see what we can find.
oh, well, a lot of these guys said they're not exactly dirt racers, and you know sometimes it just happens.
Oh, it's actually in
Looks like
front of Kirby there.
it's the 43 and somebody else getting into it.
Take a peek here, Justin Branham.
Let's take a look what happens.
So he gets clipped
Oh,
clipped by the 56 there, 43 and 55 of Hoke and Teft have nowhere to go, so they kind of just give a little bump there, and unfortunately there for the 58 machine of Justin Branham. I mean, that's just, I mean, it's going to be something you have to look out for, is that, you know, person turning off your nose. It's going to happen. I mean, it's hard to avoid. I mean, like you said, we've said it multiple times here. It's, you know, you don't have brakes.
no, you don't. So you almost have to anticipate what's going on, and unfortunately, sometimes you know you anticipate the wrong way, and this happens.
I'm trying to see here if I can get Alex Teff's view from the incident there. Yeah, I mean, he tries to slow up, and Truth Hoke and him, and I mean, it's just nowhere to go.
No, and then he gets pinballed into by Kirby, and then well, now here we go again. But again, the thing about it is these impacts are actually slow enough where it's not going to do a whole lot of damage to the truck, but you just can't keep getting banged around, or else.
I don't know. That was a hard hit there.
Yeah, that
Oh, and
looked
then he gets
relatively
the
hard.
shot there from the 10 machine of Kirby Wainscott. Which I do want to
Yeah, that looked.
apologize. I do want to apologize. I don't think the paint schemes are populating correctly. Because
No,
Kirby Wainscott's always got himself a good
yeah,
good
and a
KSD
good-looking
paint
piece.
scheme.
Yeah,
Those are-
and
you know,
again, we know Alan's got the bloomer paint job tonight, and for some reason that's not showing up. So
new hardware, new problems.
right, been there, done that too many times. I know how it goes.
But nonetheless, Rob Yost still out front, 19 or 18 laps in the book here. So we're going to try to repopulate these paint schemes so these guys can show off their beautiful schemes that I know they work hard on, or have someone work hard on. So bear with us on that.
Right. Yeah, and right now it just looks like Rob's out for a Tuesday evening drive because that JBL truck is hooked up right now.
Meanwhile, a bit further back towards the Curtis Ecker area and Kyle Hess, I mean, you've got a rat's nest here. Dennis Kane down on the bottom right there, just trying to figure it out, which, I mean, I'd be worse than that. I'd be probably already on the hauler at this point.
For me, Eldora owes me a few too many, so I wouldn't be on the hauler. I'd be out there driving as hard as I could. Back a few years ago, when Eldora was actually on the truck schedule, and I was one of the few people who constantly ran it, I had 6 races taken from me by Eldora, where I should have ended up winning. So Eldora right now owes me a lot.
Might as well go get your money from it at this point.
I'll talk to Tony about that later.
Well, I mean, Tony certainly has his hands full now, being a new dad. So.
Yep, he does. Oh, the 83 bobbles and gives the lead up.
Massive bobble there, and you know that's going to set him back. He's already back to 4th now. I mean, and that's what's going to happen a lot is those guys are going to get, you know, jumped on rather quickly. As you see, Blair Holloman already fighting for the lead. Was just inside the 400 of Schlosser there for a moment.
Funny thing is, Blair Holloman really doesn't need to do much here. He's already locked into the playoffs, but he's wanting to put his stamp on things and say, yeah, I can even win on dirt and try to make himself the favorite for the championship.
Yeah, certainly, and he's looking to go back to back here too for championships, and he's certainly made a statement with that, trying to put himself up front here as we speak.
And the thing about it is he's trying to get that inside line going as we're under caution for the 4th time today. I believe he got the pass done before the caution. I don't know. But let's see what brought this one out.
I think I saw a name that popped up here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it looks like Kirby Wainscott, and then he said he's just done. I'm going to go to the pits, which triggers the caution.
Yeah, I think Kirby just, yeah, Honeycutt was just like, yeah. Kirby's looking at things too, like, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this too much.
Yeah, I mean that's, you can't blame a guy there. At least, you know, it's one of those things that just kind of happens. You kind of put it on the hauler yourself. You say, I'm done. I give up. I mean, it's not easy to do. I mean, I in one of the races that me and Alan, we were doing the mini stock series or mini stock special event, and I just decided, you know, I'm commentating. I'm going to be in-car commentator just to see how it goes. I spun out like a quarter of a lap to half a lap in.
Yeah, it's not easy when you're trying to multitask all the time. I'd probably be yelling and cussing everybody to leave me alone. I'm trying to drive here.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk to me under caution. This ain't SRX.
Speaking of caution, while we're under caution, we're going to go ahead and throw up one of our commercials for just a split moment. We'll get back here. They'll most likely be under green because cautions happen quick here, or caution laps go by fast here. So we'll be back with the some more racing here on SRM, the Racers Elite Truck Series from Eldora. Certainly going to be a long one here, trying to, you know, just find your way to that lead, because once he has a lead, cautions actually would just help him get you know, keep that lead too. I mean, you don't have to worry about really burning up the track.
No, and the thing about it is, you know, we mentioned earlier that depending on how people were driving, it'd either be close on fuel or some people would have 20 laps over. All these early cautions throw the fuel mileage problem right out the window. And the other thing is there's unlimited tires in the pits tonight, but I don't think that's going to be an issue for everybody because they're not really using up much stuff right now.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, I wouldn't have guessed anybody would have taken them anyway if they needed to. As we are green flag racing again with Schlosser shooting off into the distance, with Holloman trying to pull just a bit of a slide job there, not enough room to make it.
No, he's setting them up right now. He's looking to throw it down into the bottom and just let that truck come up. And this might be the opportunity to do it. Oh, cue the
Gotta
Dale
get there.
Jr. slide job.
Just trying, and I mean, he basically held that slide the entire backstretch. He's gonna get there, not clear enough. Still, I don't think Blair Holloman has ended his slide this entire run so far. Still sliding. Not even, look, yeah. Holloman has it to where he's basically sideways this entire track and just full throttle. We'll go on board real quick here.
He's got that thing humming right now.
Yeah, we'll go on board here, and you probably hear. Yeah, look, if you hear, he's full throttle, fully on it.
He's driving.
Yeah, listen to that right there. You hear him? He just blah 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 blah. He's just letting her eat.
Yeah, he is, and he's just driving that truck with the throttle as much as he is with the steering wheel right now. And this is true dirt track driving with these trucks.
110%. I mean, he's letting the truck do its job. You know, slowing him down. If he needs to slow down more, that's when he gives it more arc, or more degrees, I guess you could call it. Turns it a little bit further to the left, gives it a little bit of more throttle actually to pull it a little bit more sideways, slow himself down just a touch. But he's got it figured out here, and he's got the lead now.
Yeah, and he is checked out by almost a second on Matt Schlosser because he's just got this thing dialed up, and he's looking like Sammy Swindell out here right now, the way he's driving it.
110%.
Hey, I told everybody I'd be working those references in. I got them in before 40 laps. I'm happy.
See, for me, dirt racing, the only name I know is Brad Sweet. I don't even know if that's the right one.
No, you got it, dude. Brad Sweet driving for Kane.
Yep, and it's a Napa car.
Yes, sir. I know.
That's why I like him. Just because he drives a Napa car. It's Casey Kane's car, which basically means it's an indirect Hendrick car, even though it has nothing to do with Hendrick Motorsports whatsoever.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you right now, one of the other names that I'm getting reminded of the way he's driving this thing is good old Riku Abreu. And that old 24 sprint car is out right now. He's looking like he's got a little competition. As speaking of which, Alan's got Alex Teft on the high side of him.
Yeah, Alan started off pretty well. Falls 8 positions here from his 3rd position that he started in. And yellow flag is out. We're 44 laps in the books. Gonna be 45, and we are gonna take one quick, little tiny break. Back here at Eldora, and yes, I have finally figured out the paint scheme issue here. As we'll go ahead and we'll give Alan's nice little paint scheme here a little bit of a showtime. And it would help if, you know, when you make a new PC, you have to remember that a lot of your settings don't necessarily carry over. It's not an Xbox. So, one simple little check mark changes a lot of things. So we'll pop up here to Blair Holloman, because I know Blair Holloman's usually got a nice one going. He's got a U-Haul.
Well, that truck's
And
been living up to that paint scheme because he's been hauling it all race long already. So
yeah, you took
not
that one.
surprised.
You took that one right from me. I was gonna say instead of it being U-Haul, it should just say I haul because he's hauling. But you know, you wanted to jump on my. I'm just kidding.
That's scary. That's scary when we're thinking alike, dude. We haven't been in the booth together in how long?
I don't know. It was definitely Racers Elite
Long
the
enough.
last time, but it was probably mid to beginning of season 4. I believe there was a one-off that we did together, and it's been too long. It's been way too long, and now we look over, and that's definitely going to be the one to tell you we've got something right. But you know, Kirby Wainscott isn't on track. I was going to say we can take a peek here and look at Mr. Wainscott. He would tell us perfectly that he's got the right truck going on.
Yep, but unfortunately, Kirby already parked it early, so unfortunately, I don't think that's going to help his points situation out any.
Certainly not, and you know it's a bummer. You do your best to get every point you possibly can, and sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you want it to.
No, but as we're getting ready to hit lap 50, for some reason the pace truck decided to go down pit road, and here we go again.
So Blair Holloman going to be the one that's going to have control when we do go back green.
Yeah, I just think the tower's getting everybody put in their proper positions right now.
Yeah, and I mean it's definitely tricky trying to get that going, but you know, when these guys come back around, I'm gonna go ahead and click on right here. Once they get a little bit closer, we're gonna go ahead and do one of these. This right here, the spectator camera, and I love this camera because this is what you would see if you were in the crowd. I mean, you'd also at this camera angle be 17 feet tall, but nonetheless, this is how you'd be watching it. And I mean, honestly, dirt racing is one of the most fun to watch. You not only get to watch these cars fly by, but you get to feel the dirt fly through the air. And by the time you leave, you're covered. You're absolutely covered.
2 times you don't want to wear white: after Labor Day and going to a dirt track.
Don't give me saying that, because now I'm gonna go to work tomorrow and I'm gonna be like, don't you know you ain't supposed to wear white after Labor Day?
Oh God, here we go. Speaking of surprising that the white's not dirty right now, that 32 U-Haul truck is clean, wide, and handsome, and he's slinging all the dirt behind him. But Matt Schlosser's trying to make that outside groove work.
Yeah, and he's really trying to make it work, because he's right to the outside of Holloman and flying on that outside, which is kind of crazy to think, because I mean, he is in a little bit of a slicker situation up there, but there is just a small little ribbon of, you know, basically untapped dirt there on the cushion. You can see it right there in between the, you know, what's darkened and rubbered up. There is just a small little patch in between there.
Yeah, and he's getting that right rear sitting up on it, and he's getting that traction coming off of these corners. And I think Schlosser's going to end up clearing Hollerman. So put Matt Schlosser back to the front.
Yeah, and certainly Holloman's probably going to start looking to find a little bit more speed here. He's actually really sideways there. I feel like he's getting a little bit more of an angle than he wants to going in that corner. But nonetheless, yeah, look at that big slide coming out of the corner there.
Yeah, you can see the groove starting to spread down a little bit more in the entry of 1 and 2, and also in 3 and 4. It's
Rob
starting
Yost
to
grabbed
go
the
down
wall.
a little more right there, yeah.
Yeah, Rob Yost grabbed the wall a little bit. Truth Hoke kind of stuck in the middle of a Holloman Schlosser sandwich. That sounds like a deli. I didn't think it would sound that way when I said it, but a Holloman Schlosser sounds like some kind of deli.
Sounds like something that belongs with a little bit of pastrami and a little bit of sauerkraut.
Oh, speaking of which, Holloman now grabs the wall. These guys are slip sliding everywhere. Yost down to the inside.
Yep, Hollerman's pushing that truck now. He's trying to figure out what made Schlosser get around him so quick. He gave up on the inside, and now Yost is trying to make the inside work, and he's getting it done, and Hollerman's just bleeding positions right now.
Yeah, Holloman seems to be a little unsteady right now, but never count out Blair Holloman.
No, there's one thing you can't do around here is count him out, because like I said earlier, he's looking to put his stamp on this and go in as a favorite. He's already got 5 wins this season. As the popsicle sticks have been crossed up, we have hit halfway.
Yeah, and certainly, I mean, Rabiot's grabbing the wall. Certainly, Holloman, you throw that back-to-back statement out there, and with how dominant that he has been, you'll kind of want to see it. You want to see it. I mean, it brings me to that Jimmy Johnson 5 in a row.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, and some of us want to see it, and most of us are like, are we really seeing this happen in front of us?
Yeah, I mean, certainly if you're in the hunt for the championship, that's the last thing that you want to see is Blair Holloman holding the trophy by the end of these things. But at the end of the day, when you look at what he's done so far this season, I mean, 5 wins. I mean, that's I mean, it's unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, 5 wins in 8 races going into tonight is just disturbing. And somehow that 32 truck has been dialed up to the point where he's been able to make it happen on pretty much every style of track that's been out there. So he's going to be the favorite going into the postseason for sure, and even depending on how things go here tonight. But still, as a racer, I want to put my mark on this and say, you know what? I came here to get the championship. Come through me.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to see the same guy win the championship. You want it.
Definitely. And right now, as I'm checking through some of the notes for tonight's points, right now, Rob Yost and Rowan Lloyd are doing exactly what they need to do to keep themselves inside the top 12. And that is, basically be inside the top 5 points, in the standings right now. Because, let's face it, Matt Schlosser's already decided to say, I'm checking out of here. Almost a 3-second gap back to Rob Yost. So this is effectively, the points battle. And, they got to do what they got to do. And staying up here, because Kirby Wainscott had a rough go of it. Troy Thomas has had a rough go of it. Dennis Kane is 8 laps down. Truth Hoke is 2 laps down. These guys are capitalizing on just, some bad races at a bad time for some of the competitors ahead of them.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly going into, the next following weeks, pulling off a win just before that, especially at a place like this, is going to be a massive momentum bringer.
Oh, easily. And, Kyle Hess, he ended up winning last week at Gateway. That was the big thing for him because he was able to relax coming into this week. He knew he was going to be locked in, and he could just kind of have a little bit of fun here tonight. I mean, he's running solid. He's running 5th right now. He didn't need to worry about points. So he was a lot more at ease tonight. Everyone else was on pins and needles because there was, if I'm looking at this correctly, there was a 64 point gap between Truth Hoke and Troy Thomas. And that was 4th to 15th. So there is definitely room for a lot of changes as we've hit 50 to go, and dare I say, this has been the longest green flag run we've had.
There you go, jinxing things. Certainly not what Schlosser would like to hear you say, but either way, he's just taking care of business, hanging it out wide there as he gets around the 56 machine, who's kind of a little loose there off the corner.
Yeah, unfortunately, Schlosser's looking through his front windshield, and he's got a whole lot of traffic in front of him. Dennis Kane, I think, will be smart to get out of the way right about now. Maybe not. Looks like
no,
Schlosser
Schlosser just gonna
the
have
bottom.
Schlosser just gonna have to turn down. And we'll listen in on how he's running. And look, I mean, he's this goes right back to 2006 for me. Turn right to go left.
Yeah, he stays into the entry of the corner a lot more, and then as soon as the back end starts to hook up is when he turns right. He's manhandling this, whereas Blair Hallerman was more fluid. As it looks like we just had somebody bounce off the wall in front of the 400.
It looks like the 99 of Philip Archibald.
Well, again, you know, you're going to cave in these right rear fenders. They're not going to matter much here. I mean, you could probably knock the spoiler off this thing. And, well, how many
Whoa,
times
what a big slide there. He's just trying to get around that 99 machine. And throws it there.
Yeah, he just chucked her in deep. But, again, how many times did we see when the trucks actually ran here, a lot of these guys without right rear quarter panels and spoilers? Schlosser's checked out to almost 3.3 seconds already, and it's just growing.
Yeah, I mean, all he needs to do is just keep that thing smooth. Smooth operator. Sorry. Anyway.
Oh my God, we
smooth operator.
Ladies and gentlemen,
karaoke time.
Oh, who does that in Formula One?
I forget, but I remember the clip where he's like, you can't sing "Smooth Operator" on the radio.
yeah. It's not Checo. It was.
Was it Sainz? Yeah, I think it was Carlos Sainz.
Yeah. Yeah, and right now, that's all that 400 needs. Schlosser just needs to be smooth around here and just hope everyone else is, because he has said, I'm gone.
Gone like a freight train, gone like yesterday.
Gone like the wind.
Well, I was throwing another song in there for you, buddy. Gone like a freight train, gone like yesterday. And just like that, we have a caution on the racetrack. It's going to be caution number 7. And again, you know, that's not what Schlosser wants to see. I mean, especially almost a 6-second gap here at Eldora, which is a massive gap when you put it into perspective. I mean, if you look here, try to get a little bit of a blimp. Call up our blimp shot, see if we can get a look.
I think they threw the caution for the karaoke going on here in the broadcast booth.
Maybe they probably thought that there was something on the track going wrong, but you see here, there's the 400 machine.
Don't worry, everybody. There's no squirrels on the track. It's all up here in the booth.
You pop back here. There's Rob Yost, and this is as we're still catching the field up. So that's a 3-second lead right there for Schlosser. So add 3 more seconds of that, and I mean, he's got almost a full straightaway, if not a straightaway and 2 turns of space there on Rob Yost, that green flag run.
Well, you figure it's what, about 19, 20 seconds to get around here for a semi-decent lap. To be 6 seconds up, you're basically a third of the track ahead of everybody. So he was hauling out. And now it just gets simply erased, and we're going to have ourselves probably a 45-lap shootout, give or take.
Yeah, we're going to be about 35 or so. I mean, looks like they're doubling up now, so we're going to be going back green at lap 83. So we're going to be around, what, 30... My 37? Math. Yeah, 37 laps. So yeah, 37 laps.
It'll be 36 to go this time by, as that Silverado thankfully doesn't do what they did in Phoenix and hit the perils. And we're back going green again.
Yeah, green flag back in the air. Schlosser back to what he was doing, already putting a half second over Lloyd, but Lloyd trying to close that in just a touch there. But, I mean, Schlosser just has such a good, smooth finesse around that outside line to where he can hang on to as much possible momentum as he can and he's grabbing just enough of that, outside dirt line, that cushion to kind of get enough on that right rear tire to kind of propel himself forward.
Yeah, they've already worn the fluff off the top, and now you got enough to get some grip up there as it goes 3 wide behind him for second. It's going to get racy, and that's exactly what Schlosser wants to see in the rearview mirror is everybody side by side, because here we are a couple laps after the restart, and he's already checked out to just about a second.
Yeah, and I mean, he makes it look easy, and certainly, if I could hop in and test drive this thing, I bet you I'd probably be sitting probably about 86 laps down because I'd already be wrecked on lap 1.
Like I said, as much as Eldora owes me, I'd be giving it a good shot, but I'd probably already be sitting there with a hot dog watching this race.
Oh, 110%. We'd be side by side laughing about how terrible we raced.
Yeah, kicking over a cold one, wondering what we were doing in the first place.
Right? I mean, we probably kick over a trash can or two before so, but just as we switch over to our cam, Schlosser grabbed the wall there, and a couple more of those, and you're going to start, tearing up that truck. You might get a little bit of, you got wheel damage, and the second you hear that, that's when you know you're screwed.
Yeah, exactly. And, seeing that camera we had at track level actually reminded me of a stream I was in way back a while ago. When Natalie Decker was actually driving trucks, she actually held a hosted Eldora event, and got people like Kaz Gralla showed up, Logan Clampett, Joey Stone. I somehow got lucky enough to get into the field. I actually ended up finishing 4th, ahead of most everybody besides Logan. So, I know my way around here, but against these guys, I'd probably be kicking over a trash can and laughing about things later.
I am a professional trash can kicker.
Isn't there a sport for that?
I mean, if there is, I'm missing my calling. Between that and ball return at bowling alleys, ball return puncher, those are my 2 callings.
There's a joke there that I want to make.
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, I probably shouldn't have. But we're going to leave it alone. Look at the 3 of those. That's such an amazing shot there. You see the 3 of those things come flying out of the corner. We'll get another shot of it there on the front stretch once we come back around. This one, that's not as pretty as that one off the front stretch. You'll see it flip over right here. Just a moment. We'll see all 3 of these guys come sliding off this corner. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. It's like watching a dance. Everyone's in line, choreographed, and just as I say everyone's just in line, Rowan Lloyd dives to the bottom side there, trying to find some kind of speed, maybe to catch up and maybe ruffle the feathers of Schlosser, as it looks like Holloman got a little bit too slideways there. But these guys are giving every little inch that they can, to find that speed, and it's just they get close. But once you get close, that's one thing. But it's getting, Schlosser one off of his line, kind of getting him a little loose, and you kind of got to touch him, but you don't want to wreck him. Obviously, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to take someone out. But
no,
dirt is very hard to do that bump and run.
No, and that's why you'll see a lot of people more than likely just throw it into the corner. And if the slide job doesn't stick, you're going to end up seeing a lot of people end up getting hip checked, which is normal for dirt track racing. You're going to come across somebody's nose, and if they're still far enough in there, you're going to establish the position by basically knocking your rear end off of their nose and just saying, guess what? I'm straightening you out. So the question is, how long before you start doing that?
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things, you don't know until it's too late. Or you do it and you're on time. It's a weird guessing game.
Yeah, it is, and I'll admit I actually have thrown a hip check in a dirt race before, and I end up getting destroyed after the race for it because the person was upset that they dominated the race pretty much the entire way, and with 3 to go, I just threw it in there. This was, I think, the dirt street stocks at Lanier, and I literally chucked it so deep into the 3rd corner, it stuck, but to the point where when it finally did
Oh, we've
slide
got a
up,
spinner.
my
Looks
light.
like Philip Archibald.
Ooh, that's not good. That's not going to be good for his points day. He needed something strong.
Yeah,
and
Philip Archibald.
yeah,
Luckily
that's
for
going to hurt.
him, though, I mean, he does go a lap down. He will only lose one more spot to Curtis Ecker there. Take a peek see to see what happened, and I'm sure we know what happened. You know, coming off that turn, yeah, you see him there. He's already behind Ecker, so he'll just kind of give that spot up. Looks like he tried to gather it up, tried to gas it back, and then once you lose that slide, you kind of gotta ease the throttle away, and then you gotta wait until you're basically on the front stretch, prepared to give it the beans. And we'll take a peek here. See, he's already lost the slide, tries to keep it going, gives it the beans a little too early, and she goes around.
Yeah, once you lose the slide, you got to wait till you're basically on the straightaway to give her some throttle. And unfortunately, he thought he could give it up at that point, but he was still in the slick stuff, and the tires just buzzed up.
Gotta give it the beans, but you gotta you gotta be careful with the beans. But
You got any more beans over there, Mr. Taggart?
certainly. But now that puts a little bit of I wouldn't say fear, but maybe a little tad bit of anxiety there for Schlosser, because you're gonna have Holloman to your inside, and then you're gonna have Lloyd most likely to your rear, and you know he's gonna want that spot. He's probably gonna be all over trying to give a little bit of shove. Actually, Yost is gonna be to the rear of Schlosser. The 61 of Lloyd's gonna be to the rear of Holloman. So you know, Yost has been putting down some good times. Yost has been running good, so I wouldn't be opposed to him, you know, pushing the envelope here on Schlosser. So I mean, there's a lot for him. He's kind of boxed in here too.
Yeah, Yost is one of those that also could use a win to end up getting himself locked into the playoffs, and what better way to do it than with an 18-lap shootout here at Eldora. And oh, Hollerman did not get off on that restart at all.
No, he was a sitting duck there, but Yost just a tad bit higher, doesn't make it work as quite well as he probably thought in his head, grabs the wall a little bit there. Holloman trying to rebound and find his way back towards that spot. Yost is probably the closest that's been running pretty well with him. It's just Schlosser's been able to keep the momentum of his truck up better than all of these other guys.
Yeah, he has, and unfortunately, Rob is just finding where that limit is just a little bit too late, and Schlosser's just going to keep pulling away from him, because right there you can see he gets it right up on the top of that cushion and drives off of it, and that's how he's able to keep the momentum up with this truck.
Yeah, and now Yost, if you look back right here, Yost has got his hands full. He's got Holloman all over the rear of his truck too. As I click on Matt Metler, which good run for Matt Metler. He's up 7 positions right now.
Yeah, he's putting the dirt truck beat down on Bergen right now, and I can't say I'm surprised. Alan's just had a bit of a rough day here today.
Yeah, Alan Bergen kind of stuck right there, and just as we go to him, he grabs the wall again, and I mean, that's Mr. Dirtman.
Yeah, I don't think the Bloomer special's working out for him right now, unfortunately.
Certainly not, but you know, Alan, that's his world, and I love to see how happy Alan gets about his dirt cars and his dirt racing.
Yeah, well, speaking of looking like old Bloomer here, the 400 of Matt Schlosser is pulled away like he's driving with a Bloomquist car, because that thing has already hauled out to nearly 2 seconds in the span of 5 laps.
Yeah, and I mean he's all but made his reservations for the next coming weeks to chase after a championship. So he's just trying to add to his little tally here and make a good run.
Yeah, he shows up and he just says, you know what, I'm putting the beat down on the field tonight. He put the thing up on pole, and now he's just hauled out with it, because there's no one else even in the rearview mirror, and I don't know if he's going to be catching traffic anytime soon, because we've only got 9 laps to go to settle this thing, and I don't see anyone really in the way of him right now.
The first person I believe would be Philip Archibald, if I'm taking a guess of my paint schemes as good as I think I can, it would be the 99 of Philip Archibald.
Yeah, and he
May or
is.
may not, but I mean he's basically he's might as well be miles away for 9 laps to catch him.
Yeah, this thing is just
And
dialed up, and he's
I
just
mean at this
praying at
point
this point.
he doesn't even need to push the envelope. He could just cruise around where he is right now. Doesn't have to push it. Doesn't have to really give a lot. Just maintain the gap.
Yeah, but that truck is so dialed in the way it is. As Yost and Hollerman are going at it, and I saw in the rear view, Rob Yost end up bouncing that truck off the wall again, and somehow that thing's still running. Hollerman is all over him trying to get around. There he is smacking the wall again, coming off, and right in the middle of the Eldora Speedway sign on the back straightaway. So that 83 truck is not happy right now.
No, certainly not. But I mean, it's definitely putting up a fight against Blair Hollywood. Justin Branham,
Unfortunately,
Justin Branham rebounding from that early incident. He finds himself fourth.
yeah, rocking that Ruby Unit First paint job that Chase Elliott had in Martinsville. And, you know, I love the Ruby cars, but I just wish they were that actual regular full-blown deep metallic Ruby. That would have been a whole lot better.
I
As it looks like Sloss.
certainly want to agree
Say,
with you. I had to hack up a lung for just a split second with 5 laps to go here.
yeah, that 400 has decided to say, I am done with you guys. Enjoy eating what little dust you're going to find coming off of my tires, because it seems like this track is really slicked up, and the only dust that's there as he smacks the wall is actually coming up off that right rear as he's getting ready to put another lap on Archibald.
Yeah, so
3
I
to
mean,
go.
we were a little wrong there. We didn't think he would catch him, but certainly Archibald just gonna pull aside, dive to the inside, let him go by. Said this is not my fight.
No, it ain't the fight, because right now the popsicle sticks are going airborne. 2 to go, and Matt Schlosser's got nearly just over a 2.1 second lead right now as he's getting ready to come through 1 and 2 one more time here.
Yeah, so I mean, he's just gonna throw it in. I mean, he. I thought he was slowing up just to be a little safe, but I mean, he's already stretched it back out from a 1 and 3/4 second lead to over 2 1/4 seconds. So still plenty of truck there, and he's just said, I want to go.
Well, he's going to
Almost
be
two and a
going to
half.
he's going to be going to victory lane because the checkered flag is airborne. Matt Schlosser gets it done in the dirt at Eldora.
And certainly in a dominating fashion there, right at the end, throws caution to the wind the entire race, finds his way up there to that number one spot, and just hangs out wide and basically just full on sends it.
As they already got the thing chucked sideways, Rob Yost and Blair Hallman are going to fill out the podium. How about Matt Mettler finishing 5th? That
Yeah,
is insane.
good old Matty Met getting a 5th, and I mean that's amazing. And you know he's going to be able to hold that over Bergen for quite some time. So it's going to be fun there.
As the fireworks are going off, the flames are erupting up here on the front straightaway. Oh, I'm glad Hank brought the extra propane for this one.
propane accessories.
Propane accessories. I tell you what.
I tell you what. Oh boy, man. Maybe this is why they keep us from each other in the booth, because of the random things that we come up with just to say.
Well,
Smooth operator gets sung. Montgomery Gentry gets sung up here. So definitely, we got a little bit of a group that they like to deal or like to listen to, I guess. So we're gonna go
man,
ahead and we're gonna
you brought
bring
up
up
the
some of these
music.
guys.
You brought up the music. I brought up Blazing Saddles. Figure that one out.
Hey man, whatever works, right?
Pretty much.
So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hand this off to you. I believe you're gonna have our man in third place in Blair Holloman.
Hey, Blair, it's Shane up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys. How you doing?
Man, it looked like you had the truck to beat early on, and then it just seems like once the track really started slicking up, the truck faded on you. What was going on with you here tonight?
Uh, that's a good question. On dirt, I really don't know what to do, so I figured running the bottom would be safe for a while. Um, as the track changed, I saw going to the top kind of worked, and I kind of ventured up there. I'm a little out of it. I've been dealing with pneumonia for the last week, um, but I definitely think that running the bottom for the opening 40 laps saved the tires, so I could at least stay up here as the race went on. Uh, the restarts are kind of strange, especially with the leader on the outside. You could never see the guy, so when the pace truck dove off, you're kind of just waiting to see when that truck goes zooming by you because you really couldn't see him.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you right now, the good thing about today is you were already locked in with the playoffs. You had the 5 wins. You put a pretty decent stamp on today's race. How are you feeling going into the first round of the playoffs coming up next week?
Uh, I feel pretty good. I mean, I know it's short track racing, so I might have capped off the regular season, but we're going to some tracks that it's Tef's wheelhouse. So I have my work cut out for me. I got to chase him down best I can. But yeah, it's gonna be a good couple races. Definitely gonna be fun.
Before we let you get out of here and get yourself some rest and some Gatorade, because I think you're probably going to want some after this, who helped you get it done that 32 truck you want to thank here tonight?
I know I'm running the U-Haul paint scheme. It's always when you got a unconventional race, it's always worthwhile to bring out the U-Haul paint scheme. I've I've painted two variants that are on trading paints, and there's about 80 people that run these paints every week, so it's kind of cool. But I want to give a shout out Yost, who's parked beside me. It's the team captain. He had a hell of a run today, and I'm proud of him. Second place, that guy was definitely hauling the mail throughout the race. I'm definitely glad to see him get a good run here. Um, definitely want to thank my dad. He's probably still working right now, actually, but I know he listened to the race. But uh, pretty much my dad and my older brother want to give thanks to this evening.
All right, man. We'll celebrate this P3 finish. You're going to be more than likely the points leader going into the playoffs. We'll see you next week. And hey, who knows? You might be hoisting the trophy when this is all said and done here in a bit.
I hope so, but it's gonna be fun regardless. I'll catch you, fellas.
All right, rest up, man. So you definitely sound like you need it.
Will do.
All right, and we're gonna see if we can grab our other man, our second place finisher from the same place. Let's see, hey, he's still hanging. Go ahead and bring up our second place finisher, Rob Yost Jr. You got a copy?
I do, boys. I'm all winded, but I'm here.
Yeah, certainly. I can imagine. I mean, you guys were, especially the top three or four of you guys were hauling the last little bit there, and putting everything on the line just to keep her rolling. And how difficult was it as it transitioned to the top? That top side kind of transitioned. It was the faster groove, but it certainly slicked up rather quickly. Um, but going to the bottom just didn't seem to be beneficial at all. So I mean, how did that all feel?
Well, me and Blair talked, and I knew saving fuel and saving tire was definitely going to be very key. And I knew the top was going to come in at some point, but I didn't want to go up there and show my hand too early. I think I still went up there and showed my hand too early up there. But yeah, it was definitely slick up there. But as you've seen on the broadcast, I tried to roll the bottom just to go where they weren't, and it just wasn't picking up speed. And even though I saved tire, I thought, Matt and Roland at some point were burning up their stuff up there, and I was all for it to stay up there, and then we got that final restart, and Matt just drove away. So
Yeah, he certainly had the one to beat tonight, and was able to carry speed even while kind of slip sliding there. But I mean, ultimately, you come away second, and that's got to be a great feeling in general.
Yeah, definitely. We've had a up and down season across all three divisions, but you know, come out with a second place. I really wanted to win, but second place is a win in my book. So
Well, certainly, each and every race you got somebody that helps you get it done, and you want to go ahead and shout them out.
yeah, definitely Blair that wins almost every week. It seems he just got things dialed in. Even with pneumonia, he's running third, so on dirt, and he doesn't like dirt. So my girlfriend Heather, everybody that supports Zuyos Racing, everybody at Hobson Barley, Harrisburg, Victor, and then everybody at Bearded Goat Brewery with Scott. They've taken care of me over the years, and they mean a lot to me. So I thank them. I really wanted to get them a win before the end of the season. So let's see what we can do.
All right, brother. Well, maybe we'll be talking to you here in the next couple of weeks for one of those wins there. Other than that, congrats on the second, and we'll be talking to you.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
All right, and last and certainly not least, I'm going to throw it over to our main man, Shane, one more time. We're going to bring up our race winner, Matt Schlosser.
Hey, Matt, it's Shane and Jordan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, yeah, I got you.
As Dale Earnhardt once said, that's what you call ass kicking, and you delivered one here tonight, man. How did you have that truck dialed in so early?
I appreciate that. It was it was kind of a matter of trying to figure out what parts of the track were fast, and I feel like everybody was pretty even when we were all running around kind of the bottom and middle. And all of a sudden, I saw, I think it was 83, Rob Yost just ripping the top, and I was like, I need to go up there. And that's where the speed was around halfway on. I mean, it might have been there from the beginning. I don't know if we were just all kind of being conservative starting down low, but the top lane seemed to be the secret sauce, and I felt pretty comfortable up there that nobody could pass me down low as long as I didn't make any mistakes. So it worked out okay.
Yeah, it seemed like once you got that right rear tire sitting up on that fluff and it wore off, that truck just dialed up and drove off. You put 6 seconds at one point on the field. Was the track that good to you tonight?
I mean, honestly, I got in a really good rhythm there. Like I like long green flag runs on dirt tracks because you can really get into a rhythm. It's easy to lose your rhythm, and I think there were lap trucks and they were all very kind to me. I got by them pretty easily. I'm not sure if others got kind of caught up behind racing a little bit, but yeah, it was a good rhythm. I was kind of hoping it would just go straight to the end because felt good, but obviously I had to race a few more times and a few more restarts to lock it up at the end.
Well, you definitely locked it up, man, because you were pulling everybody by it looked like 2-3 tenths of a second a lap, and you just checked everybody out there tonight. Before we let you celebrate this win, man, who you got to thank on the good old 400 to help you get it done here?
Yeah, sure. Thanks to Andrew and everybody at Racers Elite who makes the league happen and race control. Thanks to you guys at SRM. Appreciate the broadcast as always. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
You know, a little side note. This is actually the second win of yours I've actually called this year for you. I had you at Pocono in the next gen car as well. So, hey, maybe it's a good luck charm with me being around. You never know.
Yeah, give me your schedule if you don't mind, and I'll just kind of run those races if that works. I'm just kidding, but yeah, maybe it's good luck.
Hey, we'll talk about it. How about that, man? Hey, we'll see you next week, and congratulations on this win, man. Go celebrate it.
All right, thank you so much.
Well, that was your race winner, Matt Schlosser, and again, putting it down out there. And of course, I feel like I want to point out he's from the great state of Maryland, and Maryland boys basically PA dirt racers in my opinion. So that proves that that's what he had to get it done tonight. And I mean, It's best there is, best there was, best there ever will be.
And we had to squeeze a Bret Hart reference in before we left. Okay, I see how it is,
Of
brother.
course. Of course. You always got to squeeze in that racing. What we're going to squeeze in here, too, is these race results as we get these up here. Matt Schlosser, again, is going to be the guy that takes the win here tonight. Over a 2.25 second win here at Eldora, followed by Rob Yost Jr. and Blair Holloman, both of Zoo Yost Racing. Whew, that's a mouthful. You try to say Zoo Yost and you get Zoo Yost. Justin Brandon, Matt Metler going to round out your top 5, followed by Andrew Teft, Rowan Lloyd, Alex Teft, Alan Bergen, and Kyle Hess, rounding out your top 10 and your final lead lap drivers. Curtis Ecker, Phillips Archbold going to come 11th and 12th. Brandon Honeycutt, Sean Dunaway going to be 13th and 14th, followed by Nathan Strauss, Truth Hoke, Dennis Kane, Troy Thomas, and I believe Chantel was our in-race our race control. So Kirby Wainscott going to finish 19th, tail of the field tonight, 97 laps down. Not what he wanted to see at all, but certainly going to bounce back next week. But definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these guys who are close in the points championship, this was not the night they were looking for. And I'm sorry, I got to take a minute to appreciate the flames and the fireworks in this shot, because iRacing knows how to provide, a little bit of spectacularness, and this is definitely one of those moments. And the way Matt threw down tonight, this is definitely the moment to show right here.
Oh, 110%. I mean, he put it all out there and put on a heck of a show, and I mean, it shows.
Yeah, but I say we get on out of here before we end up getting even more caked in dirt. I got to wash about 3 layers off of me tonight.
Yeah, so me and you, we're going to hit the showers, get all this dirt from Eldora off. And with all of that being said, as you walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, y'all.
Until we meet again, take care.
Rickmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, rickmotech.com.